Good evening, everyone. It is Tuesday, another Tough Love Tuesday broadcast today. I am Coach Tracy Cromwell. I'm your certified integrative nutrition health coach and certified personal trainer. And first, I want to thank all of you that are watching live and those that watch on the video recording on Facebook, as well as those watching on YouTube Live, and then those that get to listen later on in the podcast. And I am recording live, which means anything can happen, and it has. And I also don't re-record or edit. So for those on the podcast, you know the drill. You've been listening if you've been listening for a little while. So anyway, today I wanted to talk about a topic that that I used to think I never had to do, that didn't make sense to me. And hi, Jamie. Yeah. Hi, East Coast. Someone is watching from Florida, and great, about to fall asleep. Anyway, thanks for being here. But I want to talk about something that's really become an important part of my life. So in May, as some of you may know, I lost my husband. He passed away in May. And they say that sometimes it takes a significant trauma to have opportunity for growth or to change, to create. And so I was trying my usual ways of coping for probably until late October. And I realized that it wasn't working, and I needed to be open and find a solution for my brain that was just really scared, nervous. Focus was terrible. Anxiety was up, and all of those things. So I, through a really neat progressive way, I stumbled into meditation. And so I just thought I would talk tonight to those that maybe are curious about it and have thought about it, but not sure if it fits into their life. And just give you some facts that I've discovered over the period of time about meditation. I've been really good. I'm still a novice, but I've not missed a day. Probably, I think it was maybe November 2nd that I started a practice. And I started really small, not knowing what I was doing with some breathing techniques and releasing perfectionism and learning to just watch my thoughts go by and learning to, again, bring myself back to a present state. So, yeah, it's just been an incredible tool for me. So, I'm going to recommend that if you are feeling distressed or your mind feels just disorganized, or you just can't focus, that this is a um, very good opportunity to help quiet the brain, quiet the mind, and be able to focus on being present. So I use some great resources to put this together. So I will put those in the comments later so you can look up some articles, additional information. But really, what is meditation? So sometimes we can think that we have to sit cross-legged on the floor and say or sit for hours, and we just don't have time for that. Or we think that it has to be based on a religious practice, and it really doesn't. However, meditation does stem from religious practices, and it's actually pretty amazing. I think it was 1500 BC when meditative practice started, or that they know of. So, but anyway, all definitions of meditation center around it being an internal practice where one learns to train and focus the mind, attaining a state of calm and peace that allows one to more clearly observe thoughts and emotions as they occur. And simply put, it's a state of awareness that draws all attention to the now. So instead of focusing on the past and instead of looking forward into the future, it trains the brain to be here right now. So what I'm working with my brain is to be here right now with you. And it calms me immensely versus me thinking, oh, I hope the see, I can feel it. I hope the it works okay. I hope that the technology stays fine, right? But if I just stay on this moment here with you in this very second, because I'm training my mind to just stay present, it's just that is what meditation helps us do. Um, so Eckhart Tolle's famous. He's famous for a book called The Power of Now, and it's a really great book on how to meditate, cultivating awareness, um, in the present moment. And this can really help your entire life. And I'm going to vouch for it again. I was never a meditator. It was something I didn't want to do. Um, but since November 2nd, I've been practicing and getting better at it and better at it. And it has improved my life immensely, absolutely immensely. And especially, like I said, coming out of a pretty significant trauma state, right? So, um, so again, religious backgrounds are where meditation has come from, and what they found is that if you look at all religions, they all use some form of meditation. Okay, and again, it's bringing you to the now. So it's just again, Eckhart Tolle states that it's just the practice of becoming aware. Okay, being aware of our thoughts, aware of our current state. And then with that, and I'm adding this in, is that you can then see what your brain is thinking, what it's processing. You can watch the thoughts go by and you may discover some pretty incredible insights, right? But again, with the meditation, it's about being present now and focusing on like breathing and calming the body. Um, so again, it's not just for Buddhists. It's for everybody. And I found too, just and I'll talk about this a little bit later. Sometimes for me, just to go on a meditative walk, no input, no sensory input. I'm just there methodically, even just counting my steps, being present with my body. And that can be extremely meditative and just turning off all the noise from the outer world. Okay. Um, so, why is it relevant for us to see if we can go ahead and put a meditative practice together? Um, it creates self awareness, concentration. Um, it can cultivate a new understanding of your life. Other benefits are reduced levels of stress and anxiety. It helped mine immensely. I now look so forward to this quiet time that I'm going to have because I can feel calm, within my body. Because throughout the day, my mind will start to race again, starts to become extremely analytical where it doesn't need to be analytical. And these meditative practices help me see it now. And I can then say, all right, mind, let's calm back. Let's be present. We don't have to be over analytical in this position, and we can settle in and just be present. So, reduce levels of stress and anxiety, and a lower blood pressure, just an increased overall sense of happiness and well-being. So I find that when I come out of a meditation, I think about, well, who do I want to be, and how do I want to be present with the world, and how do I what are my intentions for the day that can create something positive, even in a situation where I feel like I'm up against everything, right? But my mind then becomes attuned to thinking that way, more open, more present, and more aware of how my energy is going out into the world, okay, and how that can actually impact other people too, not just me. So, good thing to think about is like, how do you think you could benefit from a meditative practice, right? And for me, I went into it because I just felt I knew I had to have something because what I was doing just sure as heck wasn't working. And, living in a state of fear, anxiety, fear of unknown was just a way I knew I didn't want to live my life. And so, um, again, this presented itself at the right time for me to learn how to do. So, what I loved about this was that there's just so much science available about it now. Neuroscientists study the brain, and there's a lot of studies now that show how the brain will rewire and how it will change based on how we meditate, right? So, I'm a science girl. That's my analytical side. I love the data. And so the fact that they can see your brain rewiring, the gray matter of your brain changing over time with a meditative practice is pretty incredible. So there's a lot of science behind it, and I just love that. So um, one one thing I wanted to note was they show that regular mindfulness and meditation practice can directly influence the gray matter in the brain, the part of the brain involved in muscle control, which is important, muscle control, sensory perception, such as seeing and hearing and memory, emotions, speech, decision making, and self control. And I know as a personal trainer, when I'm training people, we try and figure out, perception, muscle control. If your brain is more mindful, if it's able to communicate with your muscles, you have better movement. Even just if you aren't training, if your brain knows where your feet are, and if your brain knows where your legs are, if your brain can feel your body and know where you are in the area, you have better movement, better safety walking as you get older, those kinds of things. So it was great. There's a study that just after 20 minutes of meditation and mindfulness exercise a day, they found changes in the hippocampus, which helps with, again, the self awareness, compassion, and introspection. In addition, the participants had lower stress levels, and they showed improvements in the density of the amygdala. And that's the area which helps manage anxiety and stress. Okay. So, really great stuff that we can count on with science. Okay. Um, so, I believe that all of us can benefit sure from reduced stress and anxiety. We're a very amped up society now, with just things coming at us all the time, and we give our brain the job of trying to manage all this stuff that comes at us all the time. And it's trying really, really hard. And we need to like give it an opportunity to rest, give it an opportunity to learn a practice that will help it feel better. All right. So, um, we're going to be improving our mental muscles, have more stamina for making space for more patience, resilience, overall clarity, and be able to see what is it that we really want and what really matters in life, right? So um the the aspect they're finding that a lot of mental health issues occur as a result of imbalances in the brain or hormone levels, and you know including damage or misled thought patterns. So the way we think, they're finding, does impact our body. If we are thinking with anxiety, distress, and we're running with high cortisol levels all the time, that does um, open us up to chronic illness, open us up to, again, the higher blood pressure, heart disease, all of those things. It can cause us to make decisions that aren't the best for us. It can cause us to overeat, binge eat. It can cause us not to eat, if our brain can't, function in a way that's supportive. Okay, so we can't help but do that. So um, again, there's this great physical benefits from having a meditative practice. You don't have to move your body to do it, but there are modalities where, say, yoga, I think it's Tai Chi, other modalities where they include mindfulness and with body movement. But even if you're just sitting quietly, I like to just sit in a chair, sitting tall in a chair and close my eyes, hands on my quads, and that's how I like to do it. But what we found, and it's helped me too, um, is again, it improves sleep patterns. It's improved, known to improve migraine, give migraine relief, decrease blood pressure, which I already mentioned, and it slows down your respiration. So the way you breathe is going to slow down your breathing so you can take, clearer, calmer breaths. So that's one way to calm your system is to have a nice calmer breathing. Okay. Boost the immune system, by slowing down the overproduction of cortisol. So it'll help that. It can also regulate your nervous system. Okay. So again, we're calming the brain and we're calming our breath. Okay. So anyway, they're again learning all of this. There's much more study in regard to how meditation helps us, just to be calmer and a better state of mind. So, the other thing I was talking about a little bit earlier too was just unplugging from this fast-paced world. So I turn my phone off. I actually take my watch off. I have a little blinder, a little visor now to just make sure I have nice darkness. And then I like to do guided meditations because I am still pretty new at this, and I can do some of the breathing work on my own, but I like guided meditations. So I have this really cool noise canceling headset. So when the cat's crying at me or whatever, I don't get disturbed. So, but just unplugging from the technology and and having a moment when not all that's coming at you. So that's where unplugging and setting aside some time to go ahead and meditate is very beneficial. So they have now, say, weekends you can go to, or events, or you can sign up for getaways for a whole week or more where you're actually unplugged. You don't have your phone, you don't have any of that stuff, and you can just be present with who you are. Okay. So that's really helpful to those that just can't unplug from their technology or they're overworked, CEOs, whatever. But sounds like a great place to go, at least for a weekend, as I practice and see if I can go a whole week without my phone. So anyway, another thing that I discovered during this research for meditation was again helping kids, screen time and meditation for kids, because we're throwing them pretty quick into the technology world these days, and their brains just are pretty susceptible. And I'm not an expert in this, but I think, there's a certain period of time, and it's longer than what we think, that they are not able to discern real from not real, and they're very susceptible to input. And so, helping children too to stay present in the moment without too much coming at them, they're finding is really helpful to them, and limiting all this data coming in at them all the time. So that's something that came up when I was doing that. So with that, I just thought I'd tell you a little bit how I started. So again, I knew that probably sitting down and meditating for an hour was not going to happen for me. And I said I would never do that. However, I'm learning in life. I like black coffee now, and I said I would never drink black coffee. So, it's pretty fun how we change, and as our life changes, and we're not the same person that we might have been even 3 months ago, 10 years, 12 years ago, whatever it might be, or even as a child. And so how I started was I found an app called Box Breathing, and it's created by the Unbeatable Mind community. And it's just where you can set, if you want to breathe in for so many times, breathing in, and you breathe out for so many times, and you can set a timer. And I'm someone that likes a timer because my mind, if I just sit down and say I'm going to try and meditate for 10 minutes, my brain will be like, what time is it? What time is it? I don't know. What time is it? And so to calm that down, I have a timer. So you can set a timer, and know that you've allowed enough time. So I just started with 5 minutes, and that's all I did. So 5 minutes of breathing in for 4, holding for 4, out for 4, holding for 4, in for 4, just a nice steady pace with my eyes closed. And my mind was so noisy. It just had stuff to say all the time. And that's okay. I just bring it back to my breathing. So that's just how I started. And so now I like to sit down. I'm pretty faithful now. I do guided meditation about 40 minutes a day. And I would told you, I promise you, I would say I never would have done that before. Ever. I would say never, ever would do that. But it's definitely impacted my health, my mental health, and my ability to um, it's a positively impacted my ability to rebuild my life. Okay, so starting small, start a timer 5 minutes. Sit somewhere quietly. Nice breathing in and out practice. If you want some more info, you can find there's really great podcasts. There's great stuff on YouTube. Wonderful books even that I'm finding in audio form that you can listen, and then they actually throw in the meditations and just try and see what works for you. But you can try it 10 minutes for a week and see how you feel. And I found that if I put it on my schedule, that helped a great deal. So yeah, so again, that breathing part you can also do. I'm teaching it to the group I'm with right now. I'm doing a 30-day junk food sugar debunk challenge. So really working with the team, like the people in that community, on this breathing. And even if you're driving and you find you're distressed, you can go ahead and implement a breathing technique, breathing in, holding, breathing out, and holding to bring down that stress hormone. And again, it's just been a great experience for me. So, lastly, just my own testimony is that it's this whole concept of why meditate that has helped me so much. And through what's happened in my life the last 8 months. But the great part I've noticed too is it's helped support my overall lifestyle habits. I have really good lifestyle, diet and fitness, but it got thrown off counter. It got thrown off a bit during this change, but it helped me to recalibrate myself. So again, just taking a bit of time to do some meditation, you can become more aware of, everything that maybe even you're eating, everything, how your body feels, how you're moving, those types of things. And it can help to implement a more supportive lifestyle for your health. Okay. So it's um, thinking again about your balanced diet, physical awareness, um, and it's just a gateway into creating just a wonderful life that you might want to see for yourself. Okay. So with that, it's again, it's very personal practice. Each person, I believe, is going to be different in how they would like to meditate. Um, I like to, do it in the morning before I start off my day so I can set an intention for the day. Gives me hope for the day. Um, and, people will relate to different teachers and different forms. So you just, maybe explore and see who shows up in your life. They sometimes, I hear the saying, when the student's ready, the teacher will appear. And I know I was definitely ready. And interesting enough, the authors and the audiobooks and the podcasts just happened to show up right when I needed it. And, it's changed my life for the better. So, there's basically, in my opinion, no reason not to meditate. Uh, just imagine you being at work and you could think better. You could be more present with what you're doing without having a mindset of racing the clock and this anxiety in your gut, right? Um, just getting more present, I do notice my days have slowed down. I don't feel like they're running away from me like they used to because I was functioning in such a, I just need to get through the day kind of mindset. And now I'm more present. And so I feel like I'm achieving more. I'm more present. I feel I'm tired at the end of the day, but it's a good tired versus the other kind of tired. I think that might make sense. So, um, just taking that time and allowing yourself that time to rest your brain and teach it to get to be present. So, um, yeah, so if it's something you think that you want to try, I really encourage you to do some research. And if you want, you can private message me and I can give you more detail on what I did and what that process was of how I got where I am today with the practice. And then I will definitely I'll be putting some links in the comments below, some of the articles that I found, and I'll also put some of the books that I've been reading and investigating, and that for you to check out if you are interested. But all right, I think that is all I have for today. Let me make sure in my notes. Yeah, so if you're still baffled about it and you're not sure it's for you, just try some investigation and you can start with simple breathing technique. I've learned there's no bad meditation. I'm hearing that from all the people that are, that are experts and well renowned with this. The fact is that you're taking a step and acknowledging that your brain is going to chatter at you while you're trying to focus on your breathing, or it'll chatter at you while you're trying to listen to a guided meditation, and you just let those thoughts go by. You keep breathing, bring your focus back to your breathing and or whoever's speaking in the meditation, and it gets to be pretty fun. And so anyway, I am definitely done now, and I guarantee you've tried the practice, changes will show up. They definitely have for me, just in, was it November, December, yeah, in just maybe 90 days, not even 90 days of a meditative practice. I've seen the benefits and just how I feel, how I see the world, how I handle stress now. When things come sidewind at me, I'm much calmer and more able to assess. And yeah, I'm not as afraid as I was when I found, out that I was on this journey on my own for right now. So anyway, much love to all of you. Have a great night. And if you do start to practice a meditation, shoot me a note. It'd be fun to hear how you do and how you like it. And I will talk to you next week. All right. Have a good night. Okay. Bye.